Maltese dogs are a sweet and gentle breed of dogs, but also have drawbacks, which is why I present to you why you should not get Maltese dog. This post is not intended to discredit Maltese dogs, but to give you an insight into what you're going into by owning a Maltese dog. After watching this video, you should understand if the Maltese dog breed is the right breed for you or not. So, let's get started. Number 1. Maltese are prone to temperature sensitivity. This is a significant drawback of the Maltese, meaning that they are unsuitable for those who like intensive activity or reside in hot areas. This means you'll monitor your Maltese's indoor and outdoor activities to ensure they aren't overworked. Despite the fact that Maltese get along well with children, they must be taught how to engage with them and when to stop playing in order to avoid overheating when the weather is hot. Maltese are not suitable for those who live in hot or cold climates, since they are temperature sensitive. Number 2. Maltese dogs are quite high maintenance. The Maltese coat is pure white, and it can get dirty really easily. As a result, a lot of time will be spent battling tear stains in the corner of the breed's eyes, as well as food and mud stains on the Maltese's body. In addition to tear stains, the breed's long and low-shed coat means that there are often tangles forming. This requires owners to brush them on a very regular basis. At least every couple of days, if not every day, owners should run a brush through the breed's fur. Fortunately, the Maltese is a breed that groomers will often provide a stylish trim that helps to make brushing much easier by preventing too many mats and tangles. This can be really time-saving and can prevent any discomfort on the Maltese's part. Number 3. Breeder prices. If you're thinking about buying a Maltese from a breeder, you can expect to pay anywhere between $1,100 and $3,000. And this doesn't include the cost of all the supplies you'll need to buy, like crates, beds, brushes, food, and parasite preventatives. An alternative to buying from a breeder is adoption. You may struggle to find purebred Maltese dogs up for adoption, though it's possible, but there are also beautiful Maltese mixes to consider. Number 4. Maltese dogs suffer from separation anxiety. The Maltese, like many of its fellow toy breeds, is a very sensitive dog. It's very emotional and forms very strong bonds with the people that it lives with. As such, it can often develop quite severe separation anxiety if left alone too often or for too long. This can pose issues for those who have to go to work during the day or who have a particularly active social life. It is definitely something to consider when looking at getting a Maltese. Number 5. Maltese dogs can be very dependent. They are lab dogs through and through, but spoiling them at a young age can be very bad for their independence. A con of owning a Maltese. Your dog will not enjoy being left alone if they're used to be carried around all the time or traveling with you on errands. You will have to take extra care to not leave them alone for long periods of time, and to supply them with plenty to keep them occupied while you're away. Their clingy nature is hard to avoid and needs to be managed rather than deterred. They have been described as Velcro dogs, which aren't necessarily a great thing. Even though they're loyal, it can manifest in negative ways. Some of these dogs will get nippy if strangers approach their owners, so you will need to expose them to new people often to avoid this type of behavior. Number 6. Fragility. The Maltese's larger-than-life personality, boldness, and general hardiness can make you forget the fact that these dogs are actually tiny. This doesn't mean they're going to keel over at any moment, but it does mean that extra care should be taken, as with all toy breeds, to make sure they don't get injured when roughhousing with other dogs, especially larger dogs or playing with kids. Number 7. Maltese dogs can be noisy. Small dogs often get a bad reputation for being really noisy. In some cases, it isn't true. In this case, though, the Maltese is quite a noisy dog. Its sensitivities mean that it quite often mistakes things for threats and can bark a lot to express how it is feeling. Number 8. Spoiling a Maltese is too easy. Adorable eyes, tiny paws, cute tails, and a precious gaze are the ingredients of a dog that is bound to be spoiled. Add a cute, friendly bark to that equation, and you'll find yourself cuddling your Maltese 16 hours a day. Maltese dogs are too precious to not be spoiled. There is no question there. However, spoiling can turn a naturally obedient and pleasant dog into a little warrior that will only have his way. This is another con of owning a Maltese, as it involves restraining from being overly affectionate and indulgent when that's all you'll want to do. Number 9. Grooming needs. Though the Maltese is a light shedder, if their coat is kept long, they're going to need regular TLC to keep it free of tangles, knots, and matting. Ideally, a Maltese needs daily brushing to keep the coat as smooth as possible. You might also want to invest in a pet-safe detangling spray to make brushing more manageable. Get your pooch smelling fresh and add an extra sheen. Your Maltese will need a bath every few weeks, as it's easier for their long coats to pick up dirt and debris. Number 10. Maltese can't go outside alone. Maltese are too little to play outside without supervision, and larger creatures may prey on them. If you want a dog that you can leave alone in your yard without monitoring, this is not the breed for you. Outside, predators like hawks, snakes, coyotes, wolves, and eagles are waiting to pounce on your Maltese. Predators can be altered to their position by their barking, making it easier for them to trap them. Number 11. Maltese are too clingy. While some people find their Maltese following them around the home annoying, others find it amusing. When it comes to barking, biting, or nipping to gain attention, Maltese are no exception. A Maltese is not for you if you don't want a loving dog who requires frequent attention. Maltese are wonderful companion dogs that spend their days with their owners, yet if they're not well behaved, they may become a serious problem. Number 12. Maltese show little difficulty in house training. Maltese are similar to most other little dog breeds when it comes to housebreaking. It might be challenging to get them to the point where they feel the need to go to the bathroom and have enough time to get out onto the grass. Although this breed is stubborn in its behavior, if you are persistent in your training methods, you will eventually succeed. If you are used to potting training other dogs, expect this technique to take longer than intended. Number 13. Maltese dogs are social breeds. If you're looking for a dog that can rapidly adjust to different people's lives or help you make new friends, Maltese is a terrific choice. Excursions are a favorite pastime of the Maltese. The only drawback to having a Maltese around is that they have difficulties regulating their nose and will sniff constantly while you walk. Maltese adore going to parks and leisure places, so if you're the kind to spend a lot of time outside, get a Maltese. When you're out in public though, you should always have a way to keep your Maltese occupied. Most other dog breeds are 3 times more difficult to socialize than Maltese. Is the Maltese a good dog to get? For those who do not expect to leave their dog at home very often and who have a lot of time to put towards socialization and providing their new pet with plenty of attention, the Maltese could be the perfect pet. Happy-go-lucky and full of love and energy, the Maltese is a pet that would suit a small family, a couple, or even a single person. It can be quite high maintenance when it comes to grooming and ensuring it feels well loved, but in return for all the effort, it will provide owners with unconditional love, entertainment, cuddles, and a friend for life. The breed does have downsides, but most of them can be solved through training or can be negated by an owner with a suitable lifestyle. If you think your lifestyle suits a Maltese's high expectations, then it is definitely a good breed to get. You may never be alone again, but you'll always be showered in affection.